Hey y'all.
Hey
Oh,
y'all.
hold on. Let me get to this comment section. Oh, daggone it. Oh,
Well, guess we'll be right back.
there we go. Hey. Oh, God, child. My dear fingers.
Hey, Lena Williamson, welcome to the tribe. Hey, Hattie Brown. Hey, I'm pressed by Steph.
Hey.
Melissa.
Hey, Ma'am Melissa.
And who else is in here? Let me scroll down and see.
Because I can't see now
Hey,
nothing.
played it by Cebu.
Hey, played it by C. Played it by C. Who putting the mics up? Ma'am Melissa.
Melissa.
Hey, Ma'am Melissa. Ma'am
Who
Melissa says she
else?
ready to
Hey,
see us.
Monica. Hey, Monica, news and views. Views
Yes.
and
Hey,
news.
Miss
No, I always say it
Monica.
wrong. Hey, Shanta Leverett.
Yes.
Is this
Hey.
your first time, Shanta?
Sean, no,
Or
she,
Shanta?
no, she's been here before. She's been here before.
I think I got everybody.
You get it?
Alicia Zachary, Andrea Donald. I'm
Mm-hmm.
sorry, I was about to change your whole last name.
Mm-hmm.
I'm
Oh,
sorry.
hey, good evening, good evening. Why is my screen?
Hey,
Hold on.
Yolanda.
I'm like, why is my screen so dark?
It's
What's
all the
going?
way up.
I know it's dark. It's just
I
dark.
know. And who? Medina, you been here,
Yes,
Medina.
Medina been here, child. Hey, Medina.
Medina been here.
Mm-hmm. Anybody
Alicia.
else? Alicia here. Hey, Alicia. All right, we gonna come on. I'm excited. I'm excited. So we gotta come on. Hold on, y'all.
We coming on right
We coming
now.
on right now. Hold on. Let me see. Hold
Child, don't
on.
hit the wrong button
No, I ain't
again.
gonna hit the wrong button. Here we go. Hey,
Hey, y'all.
hey, Joseph, you gotta get in the frame.
I'm getting in the frame right now by doing
Yes,
this, honey, because I don't want to move.
yes, it's time for pillow talk, y'all.
Pillow talk is in the
Yes, we got
building.
new pillows. Yes, we do. We got. Yeah. I know it's a little dark. Please
We
excuse
got
the
to get our
darkness.
lighting
We gotta
together.
get our lighting together, but it's a little dark. But this is pillow talk. We got new pillows because we got a new comforter.
Y'all see the headboard? You can see
No,
the
they
headboard.
can't see the headboard. You know, let me
They can
take
see
it.
a little
Let me
bit.
take it down. Let me show them. This is part of our new headboard, our new bedroom suit. Well,
Hey, healthy bougie.
yes. So yes, y'all. Oh, let me fix the camera. There we go. Okay. Ooh, Lord have mercy.
Here we
Yeah.
go.
Is it okay? Is
That's
it
as
good?
good as it's going to get.
Yeah, that's as good as it's gonna get. Yeah.
Hey, Cocoa
So
Butter.
hey everybody, what's shaking? Oh, let me go back to the comments. Here we go. Okay, so what's going on,
Hey,
everybody?
best friend.
Hey, best friend. Welcome to Pillow Talk. Welcome to Pillow Talk, everybody. You know what I have to say? Thank y'all so much for making Pillow Talk as successful as it has been. This has been um, this has been one of our most successful shows that we've ever done. I mean, this show is even more successful than Coffee with the Kings. It
Mm-hmm.
is. It's more successful than Coffee with the
It
Kings.
is.
So thank you guys for your support. We really appreciate it. We appreciate your being here. Um,
And we love that you love it.
yes, and we love that you guys love Pillow Talk. I didn't, when we first started doing Pillow Talk, I didn't think it would turn out to be what it is. I really didn't. I just thought it was gonna be, whatever,
Right.
So, um, the success of Pillow Talk has really humbled me. Yes, into
Mm-hmm.
believing that we can do anything.
We sure
We
can.
can do anything. And um, we can be successful
And yes, Medina,
in what we do.
that's what we felt when we moved here.
What?
Because Medina said we'll grow even larger being in the Atlanta area.
Really? You think so? Y'all think so? Well, it seems like people in the Atlanta area have been really taking a liking to us because we have several Atlanteans here that watch us. We have a whole host of Atlanteans that watch us, especially, and I know this to be true because most of them have invited us to their homes and
Child,
stuff.
you act like they come from the underwater sea of Atlantis, honey.
For me, it is. You know, Atlanta is kind of, you know, I remember the other day when we went to Atlanta, it was like going to New York City for the first time. I remember the first time I went to New York City as a kid, as a teenager.
Hey, Hubby,
I thought it was like, it was like phenomenal. And going to Atlanta, it was the same experience. I was like, wow, Joseph. I said, look at all the tall buildings and stuff. It reminded me of the first time I ever went to New York City.
You thought Atlanta was like some little small town.
Yeah, I did. I thought it was like a little small town, you know, with a little Ferris wheel. And
Yolanda
that
said
was
when
really
she
it.
loved us, then she a Texan.
Oh, she's okay. You know what? I've been to Texas one time. Ooh, child. Try to stand outside in Texas and drink a cup of coffee and see what happens to your black ass. You're going to burn the hell up.
Not in the summertime.
Not in the summertime. You don't,
Unless it's iced coffee.
Right. You try to stand outside and drink a cup of coffee, you're going to pass out. Yeah, shout out to the people in Texas. Shout out to Texas, especially Dallas.
We got a lot of Texans that watch us too.
Yes. Shout out to Reese G. Reese G, who is the executive producer of Chasing Dallas. Shout out to him, and shout out to the Chasing Dallas cast.
Shout out to Houston.
Yeah, shout out to Houston.
Hey, Leon. Shout out to Facebook.
Don't
Sorry.
Trish live in Houston?
I believe Trish lives in Houston.
Yes. Shout out to Houston. Shout out to Trisha, because I know she lives in Texas. There's a lot of...
The only two places I've ever been in Texas was Dallas and Fort Worth.
Yes. Shout out to the Virginians, too. Shout out to the people in Virginia.
Margie.
Shout out to all you people in Virginia as well, because a lot of people from Virginia watch us as well.
Hey, Press Pastel.
Hey, Press Pastel. Yes. So shout out to all you guys. Shout out to Facebook. Hey, Facebook. Yes. Hey, what's going on? Did y'all like my short that I did today? Hey, neighbor. I got Jello.
So you got pot roast. Hey,
Yes,
Tiffany.
I do got pot roast.
Hey, Tiffany.
Hey, Tiffany, what's going on, girl? Shout out to Bambi, though, too. You know, she looking good these days.
Yeah, shout out to Bambi though.
Yes, and shout out
One
to...
of our day ones that
Yes.
changed her name constantly on here.
You're talking about she ain't no mukbanger.
All right. Is she a mukbanger?
Mm-hmm. Shout
Or
out...
is she an undercover mukbanger? Like
Right,
I tell her?
right. She's a DL mukbanger. Shout out to Lips and Legion. Shout out to Hubby.
Hubby in the chat.
Is he? Oh, hey, Hubby. What's going on, Hubby? I love your hair. Let's see. Who else we got to do? We shout out to everybody we're supposed to shout out to?
We shout out to everybody that shout us out.
Yeah, shout out to Lynn Dustin. And again, I want to shout my nephew out. My nephew, his name is Jamar. He turned 36 yesterday. I know I'm getting an old child because it was just yesterday my nephew was 5. So, but anyway, guys, we are in our new place. Finally, we're in our new place. We are just now starting to luxuriate. Tonight is the first night we have luxuriating. You know, when I came in the house tonight, Joseph, I did not think that I was going to like this bed, but I love it. Do you like it?
I like it, but I'm not a fan of memory foam.
Really?
Because it doesn't, a real bed moves, the memory foam keeps your body shaped.
Right.
And that's just what it is.
But is it comfortable for you?
Yeah.
Because it's comfortable to me. Like, I know that memory foam really, you know, forms to your body and all that other good stuff. But at the same time, I like the firmness of it, you know.
And I wanted the softer bed.
Did you? You don't think this is soft?
When we was in that soft bed when we came to visit.
Yeah. I remember.
I mean, it didn't matter. We really didn't know what we was getting. We just knew that it came with the set.
Right.
So it ain't a bad deal. It's just what it is.
Yeah. Yeah, so, I mean, but we love our new place.
Yes, Elonda is coming soon.
Yes, we love our new
Tramel will
place.
probably do it tomorrow while I'm at
What's
dialysis.
that?
A house tour.
Oh yeah, I'll do a house tour tomorrow. If you guys want me to do a house tour, I'll do a house tour. But I only do that with Joseph's permission. You know, we both
All
have to
right, for
agree on
30
that.
days of being married and headed to for Cherokee for the casino, Tiffany.
All right. Well, you know, I used to go to that. Is that in North Carolina?
I don't know.
Because I used to go. I think I used to go to that casino. Mm-hmm. But we're enjoying our new place. It's really nice. It's a one-bedroom apartment. And I cooked for the first time on our new stove. Didn't I? Was the food good, Joseph?
Mm-hmm.
I made some pasta. I made some
Wait,
pasta
we got a topic.
with some sauce. Okay, what's the topic?
I have a topic. If you guys would care to elaborate, what do you guys think were the pros and cons of the federal government legalizing same-sex marriages?
Oh,
Thank you to everybody saying congratulations.
the pros and cons of legalizing same-sex marriages. Well, the pros is number one, you get to marry the person that you love, and it's on record. It's on public record. It is for everyone to know. It's for everyone to see, and they should. And when you're married, you get the benefit of being married in this country and saying, well, I have a husband or I have a wife, you know?
Well, my pro is that for so long, gay and lesbian couples were together, and then one of them passed away, but they had a house, and they built this life together, and then, the family of the one that deceased can come in and take everything away
Right.
from well, it wouldn't be husband or wife, but from the partner.
Right. Or the boyfriend, yes.
Right, from the partner. And that wasn't fair. That just
Yeah.
wasn't fair for people to, hey Calvin, for people to
For
be able
people's
to
family.
just come in. Like if me and Tramel wasn't married, and let's just say I passed away, my sister could come in and say, well, this is my brother's name. I wanted this. I want all his clothes. I want all his stuff. And there was nothing he could do about it.
Right.
He had no choice but to give it up. And
Right.
things of that nature. And I think that was one of the pros because it allowed us the same rights that a straight married couple would have when it came to, death and things like that. As far as a con, I think a con is, and I can only speak for gay men. I can't speak for lesbians because I've always felt women had it more together than men. Like, I always joke around and say lesbians will meet on Monday, be in love by Tuesday, move in on Wednesday, and stay together for 45 years.
Right.
Gay men will meet on Monday. By Tuesday, I'm saying, oh, how's Tramel? And he's like, who's Tramel? And by Wednesday, is a new boy named Zachary.
Or,
So I think the con is a lot of gay men want the engagement party, they want the wedding, but they're not willing to put in the work.
right.
Because I've seen so many of them get married and in like a year say they're getting a divorce, or in 2 years say they're getting a divorce.
Well, sometimes they just get it all together on all or something.
Hey, Bama girl.
Another con is it varied. The cons really vary depending on where you as a couple are in your life.
Hey, Joy.
For instance, if you're retired, right? If you're in a relationship, you and your spouse, and y'all are retired, let's say you retired at the same time, you just don't get the benefit that you would normally get if you were married. That's like, and trust me, I've heard some horror stories back in my day. I remember one friend, a friend of mine. He was with this guy. They were together for over 25 years. And when he passed away, the family came. They took whatever they wanted out of the house, and him and his boyfriend, they had a joint bank account. The family emptied out the bank account.
Right.
And when he went to the authorities, there was nothing the authorities could do.
Right.
You know, so that may be a con when it comes to age. Now, when it comes to things like making decisions, especially with same-sex men, same-sex marriages, you deal with a lot of testosterone. Period. You do.
But that's no different if they just boyfriends.
Right. It's no different if they're just boyfriends, and it's no different if they are, if they go together or if they are in a relationship together, or if they, if they like mushrooms or whatever. You okay? So, yeah, there's a lot of different pros and cons to same-sex marriage. Now, one of the things that I'm hoping is that it stays as is. It really does. It stays as is, because I don't know what that means if, there were to be a law saying that same-sex marriages are legal and same-sex towels and curtains, towels are
force us to get a divorce.
Legal.
They couldn't force us to get a divorce.
This is true.
If you're married, you're married. If you ain't, if they overturn it, if you're married, you're married. If you're not, you're not.
Right.
Do you think that same-sex marriages are fully accepted in society?
No.
Fully, since they have been legalized? I mean, from our experience, some people recognize our marriage as a marriage, as it's being two men that are married. Other people don't recognize our marriage as a legit marriage. And we have to remind them that we're married. Do you want to see the paper that says we are legally married to each other?
What I don't like is the ignorance of some people. Like, we still have people that say, should I call you Mr. or Ms.? I'm a man. Call me Mr.
All right, who's the man, who's the woman?
Yeah, we still get, things like that. Remember, Joseph, when we were engaged and you said the lady in the dialysis?
We were married and I changed my name.
The Asian woman.
She asked me, who's the man, who's the woman?
Yeah, she said, should I call you Miss McRae, or was she?
Right, and then I told Tramel, I said, I'm going to curse her out. He's like, oh, Tramel is the voice of reason, honey. Oh, well, some people are ignorant. You have to overlook that, yada, yada, yada.
Yeah.
So then when I went back after I legally changed my name, and I said, well, you need to legally change my name, to McRae. Oh, so you're the woman.
You're right.
I said, oh, I'm going to teach her a lesson. I went right in my phone, and I pulled up a picture. I said, do you have one of these? And she was like, oh my God. I said, do you have one of those? She was like, no. I said, then I'm not a woman.
Right.
And don't ever get it confused.
See?
Because I'm like, I'm going to meet ignorance for ignorance. I'm not going to stand there and explain to a grown-ass person why I'm not a woman. No, I'm not a woman. Like, come on now. That's just being ignorant and stupid.
Right.
Hey, Brenda.
Hey, Brenda. Is it Brenda Taylor? Hey, Brenda Taylor. Yes, but I mean,
and you're allowed to, you're right.
It's sometimes can be challenging. I mean, those are the pros and cons of just being gay, period, or identifying. Okay. I'm not gonna say being gay, but identifying as gay, because I don't identify as gay.
We got another question.
Okay.
But why did you change your last name, though? I'm just asking.
Who?
Huh? Me.
Oh, you. Okay.
So we actually had a conversation about it, and we both thought hyphenated names were ridiculous.
Right.
Because if I hyphenated my name, they were going to call me Mr. McRae. And if he hyphenated his name, they were going to call him by my last name. So it just didn't make sense. Then we thought about hyphenating it so that it was the same.
Mm-hmm.
But my thing was, if it was the same, then one of us might as well just change our last name.
Right.
So we talked about it, and Tremel had a relationship with his father. I didn't. I didn't have a relationship with my father at all. As much as I tried, I didn't. And I just felt it would be more of a honor to his father for me to take his last name than for me to give him my father's. Like, he was ready to take my last name. And he kind of was disappointed because I said I wanted his. And I was like, nope, I'm not giving you nothing that belongs to that man. I was like, I always told him, because I had my father's entire name. I said, if I always have the opportunity, if I ever had the opportunity to change my name, I would, because I don't want nothing to associate me with you. And getting married, that was my opportunity to do that. So I told Tremel, I said, babe, I know you ready to take my last name. I said, but I'd rather have your last name because I'm not giving you nothing that belongs to that man. And he was like, well, call your father and tell him we're getting married. I did. He was he gagged. Because y'all know my father, if you don't know, my father was a minister. So he gagged. He gagged hard when I told him I was marrying a man.
Yeah, he did. I remember.
And you heard him because I had him on speakerphone.
He was like, oh.
He gagged. And I really didn't care. Because you ain't never been in my life in those whole 46, 47 years. And so you don't have no say now that I'm
Well, he
getting
was
married.
accepting of it.
I mean, he knew better than to try to knock it or something, because I would have let him have it. But, you know, I just felt it was a way to honor Tremel's father, as opposed to mine, who ain't never did nothing for me, nothing. Like, even at the funeral, me and my brother didn't go. They didn't even acknowledge us at the funeral.
Right, I remember.
They put our pictures in the obituary, but they never acknowledged that he had 2 sons.
I was very hurt by that.
People didn't
that.
even know he had 2 sons because he didn't deal with me or my brother, and my brother walked in his footsteps. My brother actually is a minister. He actually has 2 books now on Amazon talking about his walk with God and being a minister. And, you know, we both were hurt. We were hurt by it because even in death, he still ignored us. But then we had to sit there and listen to how he worked in a boys' home and guided boys on the right path and helped them, you know, make good decisions in life and stuff like that. But you didn't do it for your own son.
Right.
And then my aunt that was harassing me and my brother to death.
To be in your father's life.
To be in his life in his last days and sending us pictures and what have you.
Right.
She didn't even get up there and acknowledge that he had 2 sons.
Nope.
And I was like, you hypocritical bitch. And I blocked that bitch from everything. And I meant it. Like, don't fucking call me. I have nothing to say to you. You want us to rally around your fucking dying brother and give him his little Tyler Perry moment. But what about us?
Right.
What about us? When did you go to him and tell him you got 2 sons that you don't fuck with? So it was like, you know, I'm not forgiving like that.
And then she sent you pictures, didn't she?
Right, and then she sent me pictures of him skeletal. And I'm like, Tremel, what I'm supposed to do with this?
Right.
And he's like, babe, that's your father. I said, but I don't want nobody to suffer. I'm not going to sit here and relish in his, you know, demise. But at the same time, I don't give a fuck. I didn't.
And you know what? You look just like your father, but your brother, woo, he looked just like your father. But no, I was willing and ready to take on your last name, and sometimes I do use your last name.
You do.
Sometimes.
Because I get emails with it. And Lips, I agree with you. The change of the last name is necessary as a part of fully joining together in significance signification of the belief in the union.
Well, and also the rule and the law when it comes to gay marriage. This is one of the pros. The rule and the law when it comes to gay marriages is you can take on your spouse's last name, or you guys can create your own last name.
Between the two names that you have.
Right.
We was trying to do that.
Legally, you can do that.
But it just wasn't working.
Yeah, it wasn't working.
My last name and Jamel's last name, child, it was either going to sound like a McDonald's menu item.
Right.
Or it was going to make
Joe's Rib Shack.
Right. It just wasn't going to work.
It wasn't going to work. We was trying to come up with
like combining our last names and creating a new last name, but it just
Rotrim.
it wasn't gonna work.
Yes, Rotrim. Joseph and Tramel Rotrim.
McLover.
Oh yeah, McLover. Yes, so that's one of the cons is that if you choose not to take on one another's spouse's names, then
you can combine your two last names.
You can combine your two last names together
and create a name.
And create a name, you know. That's really it.
Right. So it was just easier for me to take his last name, and I'm cool with that.
It was so funny that you did it. It was the way in which you did. You was like, well, ain't nobody eating no bananas. Ain't nobody checking for the bananas because they didn't look like they were right.
What are you talking about? You falling asleep?
Just a little bit.
Yeah, because you talking about bananas, honey.
Did I say
you just said the bananas wasn't ripe, and I'm like, you falling asleep?
Oh yeah, child.
Hey, Monte.
Yeah. I'm sorry, y'all. Just feel just a little drowsy, just a little dry. Today was it was. I'm not going to say it was a long day, but it was a very active day. I emptied out the truck. I had to empty out the car and bring our things in. And child, we live on the second floor, which I was dreading. I really was. I was hoping that we lived on the first floor. I was dreading that we live on the second floor because carrying those bags and going up and down those stairs, now that was some exercise for me. I would get up the stairs and then just be out of breath, child, and have to take a little rest. You know what I'm saying? I was ready to take a little nappy nap, to be honest with you. But I was like, no, I'm not going to take no nappy nap. And we got everything that we wanted to accomplish today. We got accomplished and then some, didn't we?
Mm-hmm.
We really did.
Because he said, oh, I'm not going to be finished till 1 o'clock. I said,
yeah, that's what I thought.
It is 8:30 in the morning, honey. We getting this shit out of this car before some 1 o'clock.
Okay. You was dead set on that. So.
Right, El Manning. She said, oh, Lord. Emma over there telling sleep stories.
Not sleep stories.
Oh, I'm getting the acid reflux like you getting.
Oh, really? I got some Alka-Seltzer.
It's just not a good thing.
You want some Alka-Seltzer?
Yeah, I'm going to have to take some because I can't.
You want it now or you want to wait till you go?
I'll wait till we get off the live. Because I can't. Hey, wait, I gotta see how to say this name, honey.
What is that?
SL Cheapo. Yes, I remember you.
Hey,
how you doing?
SL Cheapo. That name does sound familiar.
She was here before.
No, it sounds in a sense like.
You know what, Libs? I don't know. Why do people feel like in the same-sex relationship that one or the other has to have a gender role? Well, thank you. Hey, Keisha Henry. Welcome to the live. Welcome to the chat.
Yes, welcome.
I think because they're too busy comparing us to a straight couple.
Ooh.
So they feel that there's a gender role that has to be played.
Yeah, ain't no gender role.
But when it comes to gay men all the time, when you see two married gay men, you don't. We got past that. One has to be a thug, and the other one has to be
Could you bring that up
feminine.
last?
Huh?
I was, talking about the comforter. I don't know why it is. I vision the person bringing up that comforter that we have on this bed now. And I was saying, could you bring that up last, please?
Lord Jesus. Hello from Jacksonville, Florida.
Yes, hello.
And who else is that? Why I can't see that comment?
What comment?
Yes, I am Cherica. I can't see it on my phone, but I can see it up here.
Well, didn't she say something about getting married yesterday?
No. No, she was telling me to take Alka-Seltzer for the acid
Oh, okay.
reflux. Yeah, I think the gender roles is because they're so used to men and women being married.
Mm-hmm.
They feel we should have gender roles, but like I tell people, when it comes to black men, people look at us and go, "Why are those queens married to each other?" And I'm married. I'm happy. You still out there looking for a real man and a thug that don't exist. That thug love ain't gonna ever love you to marry you. It just ain't.
Right.
It just we got to get that out of our heads.
That bad boy.
Right. Thug love might marry a woman, but thug love ain't marrying your gay ass.
Right.
It ain't happening. It ain't. I think about who the head of the house more so. There's always a more dominant mate in the relationship. Well, Medina, I agree with you. There's always one person that will do the see, I don't want to say a gender role, but there's always one person that may take care of the finances, the other person that may do everything else, and it just is one dominant person over, not necessarily over the other one, but just a dominant person in a relationship. Hey, Antoine, yo.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, child, my husband is sleepy, y'all.
I am not.
You was just knocked out.
I'm listening to who you were saying hi to. You said hi, Antoine.
Oh, okay.
I hear you. I was getting ready to say hi, Antoine. Hi.
See, is Tramel sleeping because
Not no more.
you're breathing?
Yes.
Medina just asked Tramel is asleep.
Listen. My breathing always gets me in trouble with people thinking that I'm asleep when I'm really not. If we're in the movie theater and I'm making that noise and I say to you, I'm not asleep, I just have lazy breathing, that's all.
Medina, you could tell. Them little beady eyes, you could tell if that was close.
Or the beady eyes, yes, I have.
Hey, Olivia
beady
Jelly.
eyes. I have beady eyes, beady.
Hey, Jelly. I'm sorry, Olivia Jolly. I'm loving all you new people in the chat.
Me too. Hey, Bush babies.
I'm loving all you new people in the chat. Right, El Manning. Nothing, I'm rubbing my eye.
Oh. But yeah. Any more questions?
Yeah, ask what y'all asking some good questions tonight.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Okay.
Tramel, do you feel better? Tramel, do you feel better in Georgia than New Jersey as far as your personally embracing yourself?
Do I feel better?
In Georgia than New Jersey?
So far, yes.
You do? Y'all keep coming with the questions. I like when y'all ask us questions because y'all ask questions that I don't want to say off the wall because I enjoy them, but it's just different questions. It's not, the normal stuff. It's some way out there questions, and I love it. I absolutely love it. So tomorrow I gotta go to dialysis. Not looking forward to that, but I have to. Hey, Greg G. But I have to. So, it is what it is. Medina, we're thinking about getting another cat. We are. And I told Tramel today because I saw a cat roaming outside. I said, oh, wherever there's a stray cat, if it's a girl, there's free kittens. Do you guys look up to each other, up to other gay couples for advice, or how to keep spicy, or people in general for advice?
To be honest, we don't have to.
Um, well, there was a gay couple that was married when we lived in Rome, New York. That went south real quick. Um, in the defense of my husband, there was nothing wrong in that. They, for whatever reason, decided to stop speaking to us. And to this day, I don't know why, but I just feel like if you stop speaking to us, that's your business.
Right.
If we supposed to be friends and you don't come and tell me why, I'm not gonna go and inquire why.
Right.
So that went south, and now we have another married gay couple that we are enjoying being around, and their dynamic is almost the same as me and Tramel's. So it's good that the dynamic is almost the same because we can relate to each other on different levels. And we all love it. We all love it. So we are getting with that. And is your medical experience different here? Oh man, I haven't been to. Well, I've been to dialysis. I have to make appointments for my other doctors. Tramel has an appointment, I think, this next week.
The 25th.
Well, the 25th with his first doctor.
Yeah.
And I, I actually, my new insurance, my primary care doctor actually comes to my house. I don't have to go to them; they come to me. Once my secondary insurance kicks in, and then all the rest of my doctors, I have to call and make an appointment. So far, so good. Atlanta is forward with the acceptance of right. Atlanta is right. He was cleaning the kitchen and putting the dishes in the dishwasher. I know that's right. But yeah, Medina, we plan on getting another. No more dogs. Okay.
Yeah, I want the dog.
No more dogs.
Why not?
No more dogs.
A big dog?
Not a big, not a small, no more dogs.
I would love to have a big dog and then come home and be done tore up the whole living room.
Child, chew the hole in the wall.
Ooh. Yeah. Just get in the shower, child. Get over that spotting.
Right, Tiffany.
Child.
Are you guys planning to go to Atlanta branch of your home church? Yes, El Manning, we do plan on going to Unity Fellowship of Atlanta.
Yes, we do. As a matter of fact, I told you I sent a Facebook message to the pastor
Do you
to
have
let her know.
diabetes or anything that could trigger you to do dialysis? Cherica, I don't. Tramel does have diabetes.
Yes.
They have already prepared his arm. So far, so good. He doesn't have to do dialysis, but they told him it could be in the next couple of months, in a year, because his diabetes is messing with his kidneys. So he may have to do dialysis, but he's already prepared, so he won't have to put that port in his chest.
Right.
Like I did when I found out I had to go on dialysis. But I don't have diabetes. They actually don't know what caused my kidneys to stop working, other than high blood pressure. So it could have been the high blood pressure, but they don't know that for sure. And they never did a test to see what caused my kidneys to stop working. So they just stopped working.
Yes, and Joseph has told me that, if there should ever come a time when I have to go on dialysis, he'll be able to show me the ropes.
And El Manning, I was on the list in New Jersey, and when I moved to New York, I didn't get on the list there. And now that I'm in Atlanta, I can get on the list here. But
Uh-huh.
I have somebody that wants to give me. I'm sorry, y'all. I have somebody that wants to give me a kidney. So they're in the process of going to the doctor and making sure that they're okay.
Uh-huh.
So once they finish all their doctor's appointments, and because they're gonna run more extensive tests on them than me. Once they finish their regular doctor's appointments, we can set up for them to have the extensive tests that need to be done
Uh-huh.
for them to give me a kidney, and then on my end, so they'll do theirs in the state that they're in, and I'll do mine in the state that I'm in, and um, right, William, and then we'll come together when it's time.
Some soda.
Mm-mm. I asked because I have type 2 diabetes. I don't have anything else going on, but I'm praying everything works out in your
Take care of yourself.
Thank you, Jericho.
Take care of yourself. You have type 2 diabetes. Take very, very good care of yourself. Believe me when I say that. Take very good care of yourself. You don't want to start getting a lot of complications, as they call it. Anything that happens to you, regardless whether it's your kidneys, your heart, anything, it's diabetes. It causes it.
Yeah, so, because that's what you have, type 2, right?
Yes, I'm a type 2.
He's type 2 diabetic, so.
Yes.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And I was doing it at home.
Mm-hmm.
And with the way I feel right now, I wish I was still doing it at home so I could just do
Yeah.
it tonight and wake up and be done.
Yeah.
But I have to go to the dialysis center because I made that choice to go back to doing it that way. Because it was working better for me. Oh, now I know why you be coughing like this. Because that acid reflux, child. Um, yes, listen to Trisha and thumbs up the live if you haven't already. Thumbs up the live and get us in that algorithm. Hey, Trisha. Child.
I'll be right back.
Lip said, do you aspire to be a blogger?
Who?
You.
A blogger?
Uh-huh.
I am a blogger.
Babe, can you bring me some hot water for that alka-seltzer?
So, one word?
Yes, because I need the alka-seltzer bad. Hey, Bianca. He coming back, Lips. He wants to get something to drink. Oh. Oh, y'all. It's, it is what it is. It is what it is. All my favorite mods are here. Thank y'all for being here tonight. And my bulldog is here. She know who she is. She know who she is. I gave her the right away. Do what you gotta do. You been in the bushes listening to your winter coat? It's too cold to be in the bushes, child. It's too cold to be in the bushes. It is too cold to be in the bushes. I don't know why it got so cold in here. Maybe because it ain't really that much furniture. Because at first it was hot. But then it got cold in here. Did you guys consider moving to any other state other than Georgia? What are some of your aspirations? Okay. El Manning first, since yours popped up first for me. I don't know how y'all seen it in the chat. But El Manning's popped up first. You know what? We did Georgia. I've lived in Georgia before, like I told y'all back in 2015. So I was comfortable moving here. South Carolina, North Carolina, not really. Trumel was talking about Tennessee because he lived in Tennessee. But I'm like, I don't know if I want to live in Tennessee. So we discussed other places. and we settled on Georgia. Joseph, what are some of your aspirations? Well, Elonda, see, I'm gonna say this, and I don't want y'all to feel no kind of way behind what I'm gonna say. I used to have a lot, and once I had the stroke, it like part of it defeated me because I can't move the way I used to move. I can't walk the way I used to walk. And Tramel wants me to go to rehab, which I really think I am gonna go to rehab. And it kind of defeated me a little bit because I just feel like I can't do what I used to do. And like there's a part of me that feels bad because when Tramel married me, I was fine. Like I could move around fine. I could get up and go and do what I wanted to do. And it was like every year after I had the stroke, because I had a stroke in 2020. So it was like every year after that, something happened to me. And I felt bad. And he was like, babe, when I said I do for better or for worse, I meant that. In sickness and in health, I meant that. And I was like, okay, but you didn't marry me this way. You married me fully functional. When I say that, I mean able to move around and run and walk and, without needing help and stuff like that. And I'm very independent. I'm very independent, very prideful. And it's hard for me sometimes. And sometimes I look at Tramel and go, I just want to be normal. And he's like, babe, this is your new normal. And as much as I don't want to hear that, he's right. It is my new normal. So I have to, and this is the first time he's really even hearing this, to be honest with you. Because he just thinks like, you're lazy. You don't want to do nothing. I push you because, no, I'm just saying. He's like, you just don't want to do nothing. And that's why I push you. And he does need to push me. I'm being honest. Because sometimes if Tramel don't push me, I won't try. Because I just kind of gave up. And yes, now the dialysis I was, but it didn't bother me. Like that part of it didn't bother me. It was that when I couldn't walk after the stroke, I told Tramel it happened in January, the first week of New Year's. And I told him by my mother's birthday, I'm going to walk. And I didn't have no rehab, and I taught myself how to walk again.
I remember that. I was so proud of you.
I did it by my mother's birthday.
I was.
Because I'm determined. Like, if I tell you I'm going to do so, I'm going to do it. And,
I think it was COVID that really...
Hey, Catherine.
I think it was COVID that really, because when you had the stroke, right after you had the stroke, COVID hit. And I think that once COVID hit and we were, confined to the house, there was really, like, no need, There was no need. It wasn't that the desire wasn't there, but there was really no need for you to rehabilitate yourself.
Well, and
the fact that you didn't go to rehab,
right?
There just really was no need.
I need to go to rehab. To be honest, you're right. Coming down south, are you guys prepared to deal with the challenges of not only homophobia, but racism also than up north? When I first moved here, honey, they had to pull me back a couple of times because I was ready to get into some people's asses. Like, who the fuck you think you talking to? Because that would never happen in New York. It would never. It never. I don't care how many Karens it is. Karen would get slapped in New York. But for me, it was like I had to realize where I was and that this is what happens here. So this time, I'm prepared.
Homophobia?
Homophobia and racism. I didn't encounter homophobia when I first moved here at all. It was the racism that I encountered. And it was too much for me because it was like, damn, it's right in your face. They ain't got no problem. And don't forget, I worked in a Verizon store. So they would look at me clearly and be, is there anybody white that works here? I don't want to talk to you. And I'm like, so there was one white guy in the store. And sometimes he would have a line of like 7 or 8 people and the rest of us be standing there doing absolutely nothing. And my boss walk up to them and go, well, what do you need done? Because Joseph, I don't want his help. I want to talk to him. And they refused to talk to us. I said, well, let them stand there, George. If all 7 of them want to stand there and wait for Oliver, let them. Shit. I'm good. I'm content with standing here not doing shit. Don't be trying to get me work to do. I'm content with it. And then I told y'all Tramel lived in Tennessee, honey. So he could tell you his experience in Tennessee.
Well, in Tennessee, I didn't really experience racism. I experienced more of what you call maybe a respect for racism. I don't know. I don't know if that sounds right, but I've told this story many times on our platform about how I lived next door to a man that was a member of the Klan, and he Hitler was like a hero to him. I remember getting my driveway paved, and he saw that my driveway was getting paved. He was like, if you want to park your car in my driveway, you can park your car in my driveway while your driveway dries and cures. And I was taken aback by it, but I took him up on his offer, and when I did, he invited me into his home. And when I got into his home, I was just, it scared me. It scared me because he had like all these different, he had all this Nazi paraphernalia and memorabilia hanging up on the walls and stuff like that. But him and I had a conversation, and I was like, I really asked him, I said, what am I doing here? I said, I didn't think that you liked black people. And he said, Tramel, he said, with all due respect, he said, it's not that I don't like black people. He said, I'm just proud of my race. Just like you're proud of your race, I'm proud of my race. And that was really it. Now, as far as like racism, I did run into racism in Tennessee, but the one thing that I respected about the people who were racist around me, they were very respectful in telling me, listen, I'm not a person that likes black people, and they were respectful enough to say, I don't want you on my property, and basically that was it, so it was always like a common respect. And that's the way I was raised. I grew up in Lumberton, North Carolina. And anybody that knows anything about Lumberton, North Carolina, it was separated by railroad tracks. And, growing up, I was told by my parents and my grandparents, don't go on the other side of the railroad tracks. Because on the other side of the railroad tracks was the white neighborhood. And so we were never allowed to go over to the other side. And the only time that we saw our parents, the only time we saw black people go over there was when our grandparents and our parents went over there to clean people's houses or do work for white people that lived in that neighborhood. That was really it. So, and believe it or not, I experienced more racism by my own people in my life. In my lifetime, I've experienced more racism by black people than I have by white people. Meaning that I dealt with a lot of colorism growing up.
That could be hard.
Any more questions?
No, not yet.
What can be hard? Colorism? Colorism is hard. It's very hard.
It makes you feel inadequate.
Yeah, it does.
And then it will make you resent somebody like me.
Well, see, colorism, yeah, because it didn't. I didn't become resentful.
Wait, do either of you guys? No.
I was very envious. Huh?
No kids. We don't want no kids.
No churn. No churn.
No churn.
Churn tear up things.
No churn. That was the one thing we agreed upon when we got married.
No churn. Yeah, no churn.
No churn.
Churn tear up things, and I'll be in jail. I'll be in jail.
I don't know how people do it, especially with kids nowadays. They just flip
If
off
you
at the
are a
mouth.
parent, I commend you for being a parent. It takes
Yes.
a lot to be a parent.
Nowadays,
Yeah.
because, honey, these kids nowadays, baby, I'd be locked up in prison,
Yeah,
honey.
it takes a lot to be a parent. I commend anybody that has children. It takes a lot to be a parent. And I tell people, don't leave your children with me.
And I ain't
If
gonna
you
lie.
leave your child with me, when you come back, your child gonna be sitting on the porch. They're gonna be sitting outside
In the cold.
in the cold. Yeah, they're gonna be sitting outside.
And y'all know I told y'all I was a
Especially if
little,
they start all that crying and shit. Don't start all that crying and
I
shit.
told y'all I was a little smart ass mouth kid. Well, honey, my mouth ain't nothing compared to these kids nowadays.
Lord
Child.
Jesus.
My mouth ain't nothing compared to these kids nowadays. My
Yeah.
mother would have kicked my natural ass if I said some of the things these kids say to their parents today. Oh, child, I can't even imagine. The most I did was, Joe, take out the garbage when I get ready. Of course, then, I get yelled at and popped in the mouth and shit like that. Nowadays, you tell your kid, take out the garbage. Bitch, do it yourself. Bitch, do it myself. And then some of these dumbass parents actually go and take out the child. I wish. I couldn't even imagine.
Yeah. Matter of fact, down here, there was these girls, a set of twins that killed their mother
For taking their cell phone, right?
for taking their cell phone. Yeah.
I can't imagine. I can't.
No, I'm just not built for children.
I honestly, like, truthfully, and every time I say this, Tramel cringes. If my girlfriend didn't lie, I probably have a 25-year-old right now that Tramel would have to deal with because it would have been my child. Luckily, thank God, she was lying. Sometimes I sit back and say, what would it have been like if I had a little Joe? I could have dressed him because she had a son 3 years after we broke up, and everybody kept saying, "You sure that ain't your baby? He looked just like you." I'm like, "No, that ain't my baby, child." And Hey James Setter, was it hard growing up in Brooklyn? Actually, no. I grew up in the projects. I grew up in Marcy Projects. At the same time, Jay-Z, all the stories he tell in his raps are true. I grew up watching people get shot, killed, all of that. So I think that made me the hard person that I am. And that's why y'all hear Tramel say my resting bitch face is scary. Because in New York, you can't walk around like, "Hey, how you doing?" Because the first time you do that, child, everybody gonna look at you like, "Okay, bitch, what you want? What you up to? Where the other people that's gonna jump out and get me?" So you get this hard nature about yourself. And, once I came out, and I was blonde like this before being blonde like this was like okay for boys. I pierced my nose when I was 18. Men didn't pierce their noses back then. And I really didn't care. I was gonna be myself no matter what. I walked down the street and people made fun of me. "Ooh, look at the F word." And I'd put my hand on my hip and sashay around and be like, "Where's the F word, honey? Show me one so we can laugh at it together because I know you're not talking about me." And they would all laugh or whatever. I never got like bullied behind it. There were some people that bullied me, but then as I got older, of course, they wanted, because they done been locked up 100 times, they want to come and tell me, "Oh, you so pretty, I really liked you." Child, you tormented me, bitch. I don't care how much you liked me. That's nice. I appreciate it. Bye, girl. I gotta go. So, and I respected my grandmother because she was like the mother of the church and things of that nature. And I never wanted anybody to ever come back and tell her, "Oh, I saw JoJo doing this," or "JoJo was doing that." So, I kept it respectful in the projects because that's where my grandmother lived. And then when I went to live with my mom in Coney Island, I don't know why I didn't have the same respect for my mother as I did my grandmother. Maybe because my mother wasn't the mother of a church or nothing. But child, I performed over there, honey. I was a hot mess. Child, I was a hot mess when I lived in Coney Island.
Did the Alka-Seltzer work?
I guess I'm stopping coughing.
Oh, good, good.
Um, I was a hot mess when I lived in Coney Island. I didn't care. Child, the boys over there was giving me life, and I was giving it right back to them. Well, I'd meet me a little thug and bring a little thug from East New York or Queens or the Bronx over. Then all of a sudden, all the boys knew my name and wanted to talk to me. And I didn't understand. I'm like, y'all don't say nothing to me when I'm by myself. All of a sudden, because y'all see me with this boy, honey, now all of a sudden y'all want to talk and know my name and ask me questions. Honey, I don't need y'all. I got me a boo from someplace else.
So your milkshake brought all the boys to
Oh,
y'all?
honey, my milkshake was bringing the boys to the yard because I let them know, honey, this is a big old tall glass of sweet tea, bitch. It's sweet tea. It ain't just iced tea, bitch. It's sweet tea. I carried on when I lived with my mother.
Yeah.
I did. Luckily, she didn't judge me. She didn't, use it against me. I just,
Is that another question?
Did growing up in the projects make you appreciate life more? Now it does. Me and my sister both always have this conversation that we wouldn't change it for the world because it gave us a real life perspective of life. Like, life ain't just people living in houses across the street from rose gardens and shit like that. We saw the people living a hard life. People that couldn't eat. People that knocked on the door and was like, if me and her went outside with an apple, the kids would knock on my grandmother's door and be like, could I have an apple? My mom don't have apples. And she would give him an apple. We would get yelled at for going outside. I told y'all not to go outside. But she was still, my grandmother was a sweet, loving person. She was still giving him an apple.
I wish I would
whatever.
have met your grandma.
Oh, yeah, you would have loved her. My grandmother was a sweet, loving person.
Yeah.
So, like, it gave us a better perspective on life as opposed to us being able to grow up in a house and just, like, when my mother did buy a house, she bought a house across from a waterfront. That ain't a real life. For me, that wouldn't have been a real perspective of life because I would have thought, like, me and my sister thought, because my mother always worked. My grandmother watched us and my mother always worked. So we went on family vacations. We went to Florida, we went to Disney. We would go, every Friday she'd take us out to eat, whether it be Friendlies or, I know I'm going back with Friendlies, honey. Friendlies, Sizzler,
Right.
Charlie
Friendlies.
Brown, places like that. Me and my sister are thinking that everybody's doing that. And then when we got older and realized that there are people that never been off the fucking block, we were gagging. We were like, you never went on family vacations? You never ate at Sizzler or Friendlies or, places like that? And they were like, no. And we was just floored by it. I met somebody that had never, ever been to a mall. And I'm like, you never been to a mall? And they was like, no, I ain't never been off this block. And it shocked me. It really shocked me. No. No more yet. Hey, Janice Daniels. Welcome to the live. I think this is your first time. Welcome to the live.
Hey.
But, yeah. A lot of things when I got older that I took for granted as a kid, I realized that, Tramel, at what age did you know you would live an alternative lifestyle?
When I was, when I turned 17, I came out at a very, very young age. I started hanging out in the clubs at a very, very young age. I was about 18 years old when I started hanging out in the clubs because you had to be 23 to get in the clubs. 21. And so, and I hate that word lifestyle. I really do. I hate lifestyle. I hate when people say, you live a gay lifestyle, or, I hate that because for me, a lifestyle is a hobby. But I knew that.
So you would rather say
my life.
Would you live, In your truth.
Yes, in my truth, yes. Um, I knew that I would. Would she say at what age did I
Uh
know?
huh.
I was about 18 years old. I was about 18 years old, and I knew that things were real for me when I went to my first club. I went to my first club, and I went to a club, and there were men there. Just, oh God, just so many fine ass, handsome ass men.
Tell us
And
what
I
I
was in
had.
this club, and I was listening to this amazing music. Like house music was like, I had never heard house music before or anything like that. And just the atmosphere, the ambiance of being in the club and hearing the house music and dancing to the, because I was a dancer. That was my profession.
Your dancer legs.
Yes, I had dancer legs, but that was my profession back then. I was a dancer, so you know, I would go to the club just for the music alone. It was more than just the men for me. So my alternative lifestyle was more so my dance career. Um,
Can you just tell us your coming out story?
it was more so my dance career was my lifestyle.
There's a, wait.
Um,
I think we got two questions. Hold on.
okay.
Okay. Again, El Manning, I'm gonna read yours first, and then I'm gonna go to Lips, cause that's how it came up in my thing. Did you both have girlfriends when you were younger, and have you seen or talked to those girls since you've come out?
I tried to have a girlfriend. There was one girl that I had a crush on in high school. Her name was Latrell, and I really really liked her. And but she didn't like me the way I liked her. She liked me as a friend, and I think because I was so flamboyant back then, she didn't take me seriously. She just thought I was just a gay man. And so she didn't like me like that. It broke my heart that she didn't like me. And so after that, I never tried to pursue a girl again.
Well, I had a girlfriend. It started out as a joke because it was my sister's best friend, and I felt in my spirit that she was a lesbian just based on how she dressed. And I told her she was my girlfriend, not knowing that she liked me. So, my sister was like, "Why did you tell her that? Because she really likes you." So I had never had a girlfriend prior to that, and I was about 19, 18, 19. And I ended up going out with her, and you just heard me say, if she wasn't lying, I have a kid that was like 25. So what we was doing to do and what have you. But I ended up telling her that I was gay, and she ended up telling me she was bisexual. Um, there was a whole lot more involved why we didn't stay together. Had the situation not happened the way that it happened, truthfully, I'd probably be married to her right now instead of Tramel. Well, we probably would have been divorced because she was cuckoo la la. But I actually just showed her to Tramel her on Facebook the other day because she came up in my people I should know. I said to Tramel, this is the only woman on the planet that can tell you what your husband is if he's good in bed or not. I said, and she gonna tell you I'm the best, honey. Cause she had a good old time with me, child. But yeah, I had a girlfriend, and I ended up telling her that I was gay. So yeah. Can you guys tell us your coming out stories?
Mm. Ooh, that was well. My coming out story was I hung out with a clique of friends. Now, when I say a clique, it was about 10 of us. We all went to high school together. All of us were gay, and some were older than me. And we used to talk on the phone every day, and we would talk about going to the club. And because some of my friends had already started going out to the clubs, and so that's how That was my coming out. I was introduced to the New York City nightlife. That was my coming out.
And I'm gonna answer, and then El Manny asked a very good question. For me, my coming out story was I was working in a bank. I'll make this short as possible. I was working in a bank. At first, there was no gay. It was one gay person, but he was DL. They started hiring all these gay men that was just out gay men, and they was coming to me and talking to me. So one of them one day looked at me and said, "So Miss Thing, you got a boyfriend?" I said, "A boyfriend? I'm not gay." And he started laughing at me. He was like, "Oh, that is so cute, a little queen that's in the closet." I said, "What did you just call me?" So he said, "Girl, I know a little young queen when I see one, bitch." He said, "Listen, you see I change my clothes every Friday? If you ever want to go to the club, honey, just bring you a cute little change of clothes and we can go to the club. You see how I dress on Friday, so you know how to dress. Bring you a cute little outfit." I said, "I'm not going in no gay club with you." We sat in for 5 minutes and I looked at him and said, "You going this Friday?" So he said, "Yeah." So I said, "Okay." So we was going, like Tremel said, we was going to the club. And before I walked in, I will never forget this advice he gave me. He said, "Before you walk through these doors, Miss Thing, I'm telling you, gay life is a fast life and a lonely life." Because I was only 19. He said, "By the time you're 25, you are going to be a has-been." He said, "You're going to be considered old and a has-been." He said, "If you can deal with that, then walk through these doors. And if you could deal with being lonely for most of your life, then walk through these doors." He said, "But if you can't deal with that or don't think you can, turn around and walk your ass back to the train station."
Wow. That's deep.
Because it's true.
And it's true, yeah.
And I walked through them doors. And like Tremel said, the music hit me. I ain't never heard music that loud in my life. The music was just pop. I could feel my heart beating in my chest. Child, when I saw all the men in there, I was like, "Oh my God, there's more people in this world like me."
Right.
And I had thought I died and went to heaven, honey.
Yes.
I just thought I died and went to heaven. Because I was like, "Oh my God, there's more people in this world like me. I'm not the only one."
Yes.
And that's
And
why
the boys just gave me attention. Oh, the boys.
Right, and I think that's why representation mattered. Because I didn't see people like me on TV. I wasn't acting like the queens you see back in the day on TV. I never act like that. So, you know,
we didn't have to.
I'm just saying, like beforehand, before going to a gay and then hanging around people like that, then yes, I started picking up those traits. But before that, I was just a boy, you know. It was just who I was, and if I had feminine qualities, I had feminine qualities.
Right.
It wasn't, you know, "Hey, Queen Ronnie." It wasn't like, you know, whatever. But now, El Manny asked another question.
Okay.
And she said, "Have either of you ever thought you may be or have identified as bisexual?" Hey, Chris.
Yes. At one point in time in my life, I did have a very strong attraction for women.
Hey, went to Rice.
I did have a very, very strong attraction for women now. And women had a very strong attraction for me. But did I ever cross that line? No, I never indulged in any sexual acts with women.
For me, that was the only reason why I wanted a girlfriend. Because being a preacher's son, I couldn't be gay. It just wasn't, even though I knew I was different from like 6 years old. I couldn't be gay because I'm a preacher's son. Like my grandmother was the mother of the church. They done told me I was going to hell. I couldn't be gay. I could do it better if I was bisexual. Child, I had sex with her, and I was like, "Oh my God!" The whole time I'm like, "Oh my God, I'm gay." Oh my God, I'm gay. The first time we had sex, that was all I was thinking. Was, "Oh my God, I'm gay." After that, I let it out of my head, honey, and then I enjoyed the process. But the first initial process, I was gagging like, "Oh my God, I'm gay." Like, "Oh my God, I'm gay." Like, it was crazy. You would have thought she was the boy and I was the girl. She kept trying to get me to touch her, and I'm like, "What are you doing? Stop. You're rushing me. Stop." You're moving too fast. Now, prior to her, I had already been messing around with boys. So, her putting my hand on her cuckoo, I'm going,
Ooh.
ooh, wait a minute, where's the long hard thing, girl? Ooh, no, 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 what are you doing? Ooh, no, 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 that don't even feel right, bitch. You know, I'm gagging in my head, but in reality, I can't really say that because you think I'm straight and I done had sex with a whole bunch of women. And of course, that wasn't the case. She was the first and only woman I've ever had sex with.
Now, when you say bisexual, does that include having sex with a trans man?
No.
Okay.
Well, yes.
Because I did.
Because, well, yes
I mean, I've
and
had,
no.
there was a time in my life where I was very attracted to trans men, like women
Thank you,
that were
Cherokee.
transitioning over to be a man, but they still had female
Body part.
body parts and stuff like that. So,
Um,
I've had vaginal sex with women that look like men. They had beards and
They were trans
mustaches.
men.
They were trans men. Yeah.
Oh, honey, when I saw a trans man for the first time, I said, child, I'll give her a real man. Because he's sexy.
Yeah, I thought trans
And
men.
it was,
Yeah.
that would made me think of becoming bisexual.
Yeah, I thought trans
Because I
men
thought
were
it was
very,
just
very sexy.
So sexy.
And I still do. I still have an attraction
that a man
to trans men.
had a cuckoo.
Yeah.
And I'm putting it that way. I know.
Yeah,
trans men,
they had party bodies.
And I apologize to the trans men that may be watching because I know y'all don't like when people say stuff like that. But I have to be honest. That's, it is
Yeah.
what it is. But yeah, I am still attracted to trans men.
Yeah.
Like honestly, if me and Tramel got a divorce today or tomorrow, I probably would try to find me a trans man.
Yeah, me too.
Would you guys consider going live from 10 to midnight for a while, since you have so many new family members, so we can get to know you guys better?
Well, we do go live from 10 to midnight.
No, we go live from 10:45 to midnight.
Oh, okay. So they're saying earlier.
Right, from 10 to midnight.
Sure.
You
Sure.
don't have a problem with that? Sometimes it might be hard for me depending on dialysis days. So on a Tuesday or Thursday or Saturday, you might get the regular time, but on an off
Monday,
day,
Wednesday, and Friday, different. Yeah.
right? Because I'll be well rested and stuff like that. Or if I come home and take a nap, then we good.
Yeah.
It ain't a big deal.
And this mattress is very, very comfortable for me. That's why y'all saw me falling asleep. Oh God, this mattress is so comfortable.
And Jerica, I love that you love it here, boo.
Yeah.
I love that you love it
Thank
here.
you so much.
And hey, Queen Ronnie.
Hey, Queen Ronnie, where you been, girl?
Yes. Hey, Wintry Eyes. I saw
Great.
you before. I don't know if you heard me.
Great questions,
Yes, y'all asking some good questions.
Any more?
That's
Any
why
more?
I love when y'all ask
I'm
questions.
like waiting for people to ask more questions. I love them.
Because y'all asking some good
Yeah.
questions. Between L Manning and Lips Honey, they asking the best
Yes,
questions.
y'all ain't no such thing as a dumb question.
No.
It really
ask.
isn't.
Child ask. It's all good.
Asking you shall receive, you shall.
Ask.
So while we're waiting for the person to ask the next question, just a little news, y'all, and maybe we can have a discussion about this. R. Kelly. They're saying R. Kelly may get out of jail. Have you heard that, Joseph?
Yes, when you was listening
Yeah.
to it.
They're saying that R. Kelly may get out of jail because the charges that were filed against him in Chicago, they're not sticking because they don't have any proof, they don't have any evidence, they don't have any witness testimonies, nothing. And so Kim Fox, who is the head prosecutor there in Chicago, they say she's going to be forced to make an announcement that the charges against R. Kelly will be dropped, which is a good thing for R. Kelly, because his defense team is saying that, if the charges in Chicago are dropped, his appeal in New York is going to look good because of course he was tried and convicted in the state of New York, and he was also sentenced
When we finish.
in New York as well. So his defense team is trying to put together a appeal strategy to get him out of jail.
Hey, Miss Gorgeous Charlie.
What were we gonna say?
We got 2 questions.
Okay,
I'm gonna read them in the order I see them.
okay.
Joseph, were you popular in your youth? Yes, I was always around the prettiest girls. My logic was the prettiest girls attract the cutest boys. So yes, I was always around a gang of girls. And all the girls I was around was the popular ones and the ones that everybody wanted to get to know. And like, if you want to give it a movie title, it was very Mean Girls, honey. Now, Manny said, how did the HIV pandemic affect dating as gay men? And do you think the gay community is more careful than heterosexuals? Absolutely not.
No, not at all. To answer your question, what effect did it have on the dating? For me, I was always for monogamy. You know, I wasn't one of those gay men that slept around with everybody. I was always wanting to be in a long-term relationship, and for most of my adult life, I've always been in long-term relationships. I think my longest long-term relationship was 15 years. Yeah.
For me, so because it came out as a gay white man's disease, for me, because I felt, well, I'm not having sex with white men, it didn't affect me. Me not think, I mean, it made me use condoms and stuff like that. Because then when I sat back and thought about it, I'm like, well, I don't know who this person been with. So, in that respect, yes. As far as stopping me from dating people and stuff like that, no. I lost a lot of friends in the beginning.
I did too.
It was like going to a funeral every other week.
Yeah, I did too. Yeah.
Like if you ever watch Pose, what you see on Pose was real.
Yeah.
What you see on Pose was real. And I lived in New York. So all of that resonated with me because Pose was real. It really happened that way. So like the places they went, the pier, I used to hang out there. Like all of that, the ballroom scene, I did all of that.
Me too.
And like everything on Pose was real.
Yes.
Down to them stealing out of the museum and getting arrested on the run. All of that was real if you watch.
And we saw friends that were, in great that were in beautiful shape. They had beautiful bodies like gods. One day you would turn around and they were this big. And you saw a lot of your friends just deteriorate right there before your eyes. Yeah.
Hey Monique, did I say hi to you, Monique?
So
I'm sorry.
it had a big effect on us in that manner. Yeah.
And Lips, you wanted to know about the drug pandemic in the inner city up north? It was scary seeing crackheads.
Yeah.
Because they didn't make no qualms. Like, it was scary seeing crackheads.
And there was a lot of gay men that were addicted to crack because of the HIV and AIDS epidemic. A lot of people, a lot of us dealt with drug abuse to cope.
Just drug abuse, period.
Yeah, to cope.
A lot of gay men, like, I'm not gonna lie, I have done some drugs because of my friends. And it was like, ooh, bitch, try this. Ooh, bitch, try that. And then being a preacher's kid, like they always tell you, no, don't stay away from drugs. But then that curiosity bites you in the ass, and you like, well, what is this good? I thank God I never got addicted or never got hooked to anything because I've done some heavy shit. And I ain't never did crack.
That's why I never did.
I ain't never did meth, but I've done acid, I've done LSD, I've done cocaine, and thank God that I ain't never been addicted to none of it. When I was like, I'm done, I mean, 1992 is a blur.
Yeah, I was always afraid.
What?
I was very afraid of like cocaine. It was scared me because so many of my friends I saw, especially remember pedo.
Mm-hmm.
You know, a lot of my friends were sniffing dope, and I saw what it did to them. See, for me, it was a visual thing. I saw what it did to friends of mine, and it made me just not want to do it.
And see, my friends was coping. So
Yeah.
it like my friends wasn't strung out. Like we would just get together on the weekends and go to the club and pop a pill or pop a paper tab or sniff some coke and go about our business and wouldn't do it again until the weekend. So it wasn't my friends weren't strung out. None of us were strung out on drugs. We just did it as recreation.
All my friends did it, child.
So have
They
either
did.
of you guys experienced the jazz scene in New York?
I did.
I love going to jazz clubs.
I did.
love it. And lounges.
I did because I was a musician as well. I worked on the jazz circuit for many years, playing the trombone, playing keyboards, playing other.
You gotta tell them your story.
Which one?
When you was in the band.
That was marching band.
Right, and you went rolling.
That was marching. That was marching band. But yes, I experienced the jazz scene simply because I was a musician. I played with a jazz band called Rufus Reed, and we toured we toured the world. Actually, we toured the world. That's how I ended up all over Europe. I've been to every little just about every little city in Italy, and I've been to Egypt, uh, England, especially England, and London, because of my music.
And
You
El
know.
Manning, you know what? That was my logic too. That it was on the weekends because I got money to make Monday through Friday. Because I was making my money. Like nothing was going to stop me. I don't care if I went out on Monday night and didn't get home until 2 o'clock in the afternoon. I'd sleep for an hour, go to bed, wake up, and get to work by 4 o'clock and work from 4 to 12 and do it all over again. Nothing was going to stop me from making my money.
Right, me neither.
Nothing.
Me neither.
Oh,
See, to
thank
me,
you,
it was
Cherica.
always fun, huh?
No, Cherica said that I love advice from gay couples. It helps me in my marriage.
Oh, really?
And her and her husband, her and her husband, she's a woman and her husband is a man, and it does help.
Well, Joseph and I, we do life coaching.
Because marriage is marriage.
Yeah.
And honestly, that's how we started our platform, to show people that marriage is marriage. Well, we started it for two reasons. One, because if you guys watched me on Lips Live, I said in the media, you don't see two black men. You always see a black man and a white man. So it kind of puts out that a gay black man can't love another gay black man. So we set out to show that two black men can have a monogamous, loving relationship and love each other.
Right.
And then we set out to show that marriage is marriage. It doesn't matter if it's a man and a woman,
Right.
two women or two men.
Right.
And then by us just giving advice and being transparent, the whole platform turned into something other than
Right.
what we intended
Yeah,
it for.
yeah.
But we went with the flow. We just went with the flow with it. So, what's the next colors you both are going to experiment next? Wintry Ice, for me, blonde is it. Tremel wants me to do blue. I'm not sure about the blue for myself. Tremel, child, you never know with him when it comes to color.
My next color is gonna be green. You know, like a Emerald City green. Like you got to be seeing green to show that your stuff's played. If you're not seeing green, then you better be wearing jade.
Oh, thank you,
It's
Queen
for
Ronnie.
that. My next color is green. I want to do green for Christmas. I usually do, like, my birthday is next month. I usually dye my beard red, but I decided I'm gonna do green this year.
And Queen Ronnie, if you go back to the beginning of the live, Tremel actually showed the headboard because she said, what I can see, I love your headboard.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Yes, this is a beautiful headboard. It's really beautiful.
Thank you, Tashana. Let me tell y'all, I was blonde for so many years. My best friend, when I let my hair grow out black, he was like, bitch, why did you dye your hair black? I said, bitch, what? My eyebrows are black. You didn't realize my hair was black? He was like, no, because this blonde, because it's bleached, I love the way it's looking with my black hair growing in, because it's taken away from the yellowness of it and making it more like a dirty, sandy blonde. Normally, I would just, as soon as I saw a little bit of black, I just blonde it again. But I like the blackness coming in because it's changing the color from like a yellow to more of a sandy, to more like of a sandy brown, more of a, right. I feel it's more peaceful when two men are being in a relationship. Jerica, let me, Jerica.
What did she say? What did she say?
She said she thinks it's more peaceful when two men are being in a relationship.
Peaceful.
Jerica,
yes.
Unfortunately,
far from the truth.
I'm glad
child.
you think that, but that's far from the truth.
It's far from the truth. Yes.
Me and Tramel go through it.
Testosterone
And I tell y'all
versus
all the time,
testosterone. Oh no.
I tell y'all all the time, you know, you may look at us and say we're a loving couple, or you may look at us and pick things that you may not like. But at the end of the day, it is not all unicorns and rainbows.
It's sure enough because sometimes we get down,
we get
y'all. To
down.
the down. Yes.
Not physically fighting.
Yes.
But you know the arguments.
It's not bad. It's challenging. It's very. It can be very challenging being with a man. It can
Thank
be
you, Queen
very
Mama.
very challenging. Yes.
Because you always have one trying to be the alpha male, and you know.
It's about being an alpha male. It's about point proving.
And I think, in our case, there was a part of me. I'm alpha male. I ain't even gonna lie, but there's a part of me that wanted not to be the alpha male, and I wanted to let Tramel be the alpha male. But because I'm so silent sometimes, and because I don't really say anything, people misinterpret that. And he knows I jump in that ass when it's necessary.
No, Joseph has this attitude. You don't tell him what to do. Like if he even thinks, y'all, I mean this. If he even thinks that I'm telling him something, he do the look. Like he be looking at me like, I know you ain't telling me what to do.
Right, you ain't telling me what to do.
Yes.
Hey Siobhan.
Any more questions?
I just no, not yet. And I think because people that really know me, and they see me sit silent or something like that, they kind of misinterpret. Because I let Tramel take the lead most of the time. I do. And that's, I'm going to be honest. The most of the time I let Tramel take the lead is because I'm so out there with my mouth that I turn a lot of people off, or people misinterpret what I say because I really don't care what comes out of my mouth. Tramel, on the other hand, he's more conscious of hurting a person's feelings. So he really won't say to the degree of what he's really thinking, because he's going to take a person's feelings into account, where I'm just going to say whatever the hell I want.
Yeah.
But I think that also Tramel's fuse is shorter than mine. So where I tend to have more control over my emotions, he doesn't. So then that leads to like a mess.
Do you think you're more of an alpha male than I am?
No, I think we are the same, because neither one of us like being told what to do. We want to do what we want to do. I just think that I am more open to listening than you, and that's only because of the change you went through as far as getting your voice. And I think that a lot of times you feel like when people are giving you advice, I think you feel like they're trying to tell you what to do. And it's not that. But I'm the same way sometimes. That it's all about wording. Because if you say to me, get up and go get me a cup of water, I'm going to look at you like you fucking crazy. Get up and go get you some water. Bitch, who you talking to? But if you say to me, Joseph, would you mind getting me some water? I'll get up freely and go get you some water. So it's all about, for me, it's all about wording. I think with Tremel, because when we
more
got
about
back
action.
together, he was like this little humble, meek man. And I'm like, I'm not marrying this man. This ain't the man I knew 18 years ago. Who the fuck is this? You better find your voice and speak out. Like, I created a monster. I did. I know I did.
Yeah, you did.
And he just has to find the perfect balance in between. And I really think that's what it is, that he needs to find the perfect balance in between. Because right now, Tremel just is on this kick. Nobody's going to tell me what to do. People have been telling me what to do all my life. I'm going to do whatever I want, and da 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 da. And I think it's not a bad thing, per se, but it is a bad thing. Because I think if I'm giving him advice to kind of like help him grow, I think he feels like I'm trying to tell him what to do, and that's not it at all. I never want you to change who you are and be somebody different.
Well, no, I don't mind you telling me.
No, but I'm just saying, sometimes I feel that way. Like, and it's not, that's just my feeling.
Right.
I feel like sometimes you feel like I'm trying to change you as a person, when in actuality, I'm not. I'm trying to help better you as a person.
Right.
Because I think in your mind, when you decided, well, child, ain't nobody gonna tell me what to do, and I'm gonna do whatever I want to do, and da 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 da. Wording plays a lot.
Well,
with
it
you.
varies. It depends.
Well, no,
on
wording is a lot with you.
it varies
So-
depending on how strong I feel and whatever convictions I'm dealing with.
Right. Our pastor skipped the obey. Oh, the pastor skipped the obeying mine too, Ronnie, because I told him
Yeah.
I ain't obeying his ass.
If y'all go and look at our wedding video,
It's in the videos.
that was one of the things that we battled with before we got married. I used to tell Joseph, I said, when we get married, you're gonna have to learn how to obey me. He was like, obey you? I said, yes. I said, that's what the Bible. I said,
Thank you,
that's
Siobhan.
what the marriage vows say: to love, obey, to cherish, obey. And he was like, Tremel, ain't no way in the world I'm obeying you. And when
So
we
they
got
might as well
married,
cut it out.
when we got married, when he said we both wrote down our own wedding vows. He said, and no, Tremel, I'm not obeying you. He said it just like that when we got married.
No, because I had a problem with that. I'm not obeying you.
I was like, no, he didn't. He was like, Tremel, I'm
I
not
will
obeying
listen to you. I'll probably do anything that you ask me.
But I'm not
But
obeying.
I'm not obeying. That word, just, no. No, that made
And
me
I used to tell him, I said, you know what, you obey me and you don't even realize you're doing it. He was like, no, I don't.
No,
I
don't.
said, yes, I do. I said, Joseph, if I tell you to go get me some water right now, you gonna go get me some water? He said, yeah. I said, you're obeying. He said, no, I'm not. That's not obeying.
No, I'm
Tremel."
not. Don't get it twisted, honey. Hey, Cole.
Hey, Cole. How you doing, Cole? That's our son, Cole.
Right, Cherica. She said, I sure don't obey my husband. See, it's a difference in listening to.
I obey you.
No, it's a difference in listening to your husband and doing what they ask you versus obey. Obey means you can tell me right now, get up and go get me some water and I'm going to do it. Or get up and go take a shower. Get up and go outside. Get up and do this. Get up and do that. And I'm just going to do it because I'm obeying you. That's not going to happen at all. That's some old slave shit. That ain't going to happen, honey. Not in this
He ain't
marriage.
obeying. He is
Not
not
in this marriage,
obeying.
honey. Now,
He is not.
You could ask me to get up and do whatever you want me to do, and I will probably do it. But telling me to do it, no, child. I didn't even listen to my mother and my grandmother when they told
No,
me
they're
to do
talking about
something.
obedience.
There would be no motherfucking obedience unless I wanted to be.
See?
This has been my favorite episode yet. I'm really enjoying. Thank you, Hubby Edition.
Thank you. Yes.
There will be no obeying, honey.
No, there will be no obedience.
And that's why, that's why I said what I said. Because
Yeah.
a lot of people think that
I can be obedient. I can be obedient. I can.
He was when we got back together.
Yeah.
But honey, when I said find your voice,
Yeah.
child, I created a motherfucking
Yeah, you
monster.
did. Yeah, you did.
because I just didn't want to marry that. Tremel was just so.
He wanted me to be a bad boy.
I wanted him to be who he was, meaning 18 years ago when we first
I was
met.
a bad boy.
He not necessarily he was.
I wasn't a bad boy,
he
but I
had
was a
voice.
bad boy.
If I told Tremel jump, he would look at me and go, "Bitch, please." When we got back together 18 years ago, if I said jump, he go, "You want me to jump to the ceiling?" I'm like, "Who the fuck is this?"
Because I felt like
he was being this.
I felt like happy husband,
humble,
happy life.
He was being this meek, humble person, and then one day I went to pick him up,
and he couldn't
was sitting
understand
outside,
it.
and I said, Tremel, I said, I'm gonna be honest, I can't marry this. I said, because I don't know this. I said, and if I marry this, I'm telling you right now, I'm gonna run all over this. I said, because I don't like no man that just listens to me and do whatever the fuck I say. I need a little fight in you. I need a little kick in you. Child.
Why he say that?
Biggest mistake of my life, honey. Biggest mistake of my life was within a day. Honey.
I was like, okay.
We started fighting about.
Hello.
We started fighting about getting
The wedding,
married.
yes.
We started fighting about what we was wearing, what we wasn't wearing.
I was like, damn it, Joseph, you're gonna do this, and you're
where
gonna
it
do
was
that.
going to take place, how it was not going to have to take place. Child,
Oh, yeah.
I should have just left him, this little meek, humble man, honey,
Mm-hmm.
and just ran all over him like I knew what
Oh, yeah.
happened. But I feel better with him like this because I know this is his authentic self.
Yeah.
As much as sometimes it get on my fucking nerves and I'll be wanting to punch him in the fucking mouth, I ain't gonna lie. But I would rather have my husband be his authentic self than to be this little
Well, see,
meek,
what-
humble man that I'm sitting there going, bitch, who the fuck is this? Who did I marry, child?
Well, here's where the conflict lies. A lot of people on the outside looking in think that I can be too controlling. When in reality, like I said, you know, and I was saying this to a friend tonight, I said, you know, we got married 4 years ago. And when we got married, you had the stroke and then COVID hit. So I really had you to myself, you know, and you know, you've always been the type of person, and y'all don't get it, this is how Joseph has always been. If I mentioned that I wanted it, he would go through hell and high water to make a way for it to either happen or get it for me, you know? And it does, and you know, appear from people on the outside as if I'm being selfish or
Well-
it's all about me. But in reality, I'm so accustomed to having my husband do whatever for me that
Thank you, Clark Blair.
that's
and
just the
welcome
way
to
it
the
is.
chat. You know what? For me, in the beginning, like when we were getting married, I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I felt that Tremel didn't love me the way I loved him. And a lot of people miss out on a person that's good for them because I had my expectation of love in my head. And I had to realize that Tremel doesn't come from a place of love that I do. So I was like, okay, either I'm gonna realize that what he does do for me shows me that he loves me versus me sitting there saying, well, I want you to do this and I want you to do that and you should be doing this and you should be doing that. Because I used to he'll tell you, I told him, you don't love me. I did this and you only did that. I did this or you only did that. But
Right.
then Tremel will go out to Dunkin' Donuts because y'all know he loves his Dunkin' Donuts.
Yeah.
Come back with a whole bouquet of flowers and be like, babe, I wanted you to have this.
Right.
I ain't never brought him flowers. So I had to realize what he does for me is how he shows love. I can't, and I'm not going to say it's not equal because it is.
It is.
Equal,
It's very equal,
But
yeah.
it's equal to how he shows and expresses love, and it's equal to how I show and express love.
It's totally different, yeah.
It's different.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's hard for people to grasp that or live with that because they feel if it's not equal, oh, you don't love me, bitch, I'm moving on.
Right.
And then you never find nobody to really love you because your expectation of love is maybe too high, or maybe they never experienced love the way you did.
Right.
So because I didn't know Tramel's full story 18 years ago,
Right.
but when I found out his full story, I'm looking at him like, how the hell are you even able to love me? Period. Like I wouldn't try to love nobody if I went through what he went through, and I'm being honest. So it gave me a clearer picture that he will never show me love the way that I show him love.
Right.
Because his version of love is completely different than my version of love. Now he do some hot shit that, like I said,
Yeah.
I be wanting to fuck him up, honey.
Yeah.
That ain't got nothing to do with
Joseph
love.
is a little bit more mushy than I am,
Right. I'm more affectionate than he
Yeah.
is. But he does decide
But I am
sometimes to
very
get
affectionate as well, I'm affectionate in a totally different way than he is. Like he always calls me booby. 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 And I'm like, I'm not a titty.
He hates it.
Yeah.
Do y'all still get butterflies?
Yes. Yes, I do. I really do. And that's really that's me being totally
Thank you,
100% honest. I still do get butterflies about my husband. Like sometimes, and we've had this conversation so many times. I watch him sleep. And my butterflies I get so wrapped up in him that I lay here sometimes and I just rub his face, or I'll rub his head, or
Rub my belly.
I'll rub his belly. My favorite thing used to be like playing with his belly button, but he don't like that. He hates when I play with his belly button.
For me, I get butterflies when I see pictures we took in the beginning, when we first got back together again.
Or when you see the pot
it's
roast.
crazy that I can look in Tramel's eyes
Yeah.
in that moment and see how much he loves me.
Yeah.
Or I can be somewhere and Tramel be across the room, and I'll be like, damn, he really loved me.
Yeah, then he gets into the pot roast. Sometimes he'll say, ooh, the pot roast is sitting tonight.
Yeah, I do. Contrary to popular belief, I do. Because something, when Tramel gains weight, and if y'all notice his face is getting fatter, trust me, the pot roast is about to grow, honey. So when it grows, and he put on certain
Parade
pants,
tale to some of you
like, "Ooh,
that
pot
don't
roast
think
is
I had
cute."
pot roast, honey. I had pot roast.
Wait, what's it? That's funny because I rub my husband's stomach to go to sleep.
Yes, I rub Joseph's belly button. I like to play in his belly button. He hates it though. He's
I
like,
hate it.
Stop it. I be like, Joseph,
see,
can I
he
please?
just put his finger in and play like.
Yeah, and I go blank, blank,
Because
blank,
I have
blank,
a
blank.
real deep belly button.
Yes,
Back in the 70s, they didn't cut belly buttons outy. They cut them in.
Yeah, he has like the Pillsbury
And
Doughboy belly button.
If he just like rubbed it or put his finger in it and rubbed it, I would be fine. But he want to take his whole finger out, blank, 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 blank. Who the fuck does that?
I go blank, 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 blank. Yes, I make this little noise, and he hates it.
I love watching my hubby sleep too, but I also love watching him with our kids playing and just thinking of him when he's not around makes me smile and appreciate him so much.
Oh, that sounds so sweet.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's such a thing as things get old when you get married. It's true, but you gotta keep them. You gotta keep them new.
Yeah, some things do get old. Yeah.
Wintry Ice said, I was waiting for you to say something about your pot roast.
Who said that?
Wintry Ice.
Yes, the pot roast is here.
Cherika, I do. I think things, if you don't keep your marriage spicy, it will get old real quick. Like people
Yes, it
keep
will.
telling us, oh, y'all in the honeymoon phase. Y'all in the honeymoon phase. I'm like, child, it's been 4 years.
Yeah.
If we in the honeymoon phase, what's going to happen in 8 years?
Right.
Because, honey, our honeymoon phase was hell on wheels in the beginning. We didn't even think we were going to make it to 4 years, to be honest.
Right, to be honest, yeah.
Because we was fighting like every other day.
Yeah.
But, again, it's like that show, Married at First Sight. We got back together, got married in, 2 months?
Right.
Was engaged in a week of getting back together after 18 years, got married in 2 months, and we had to learn each other through
we
the
did.
process
We
of
did.
being married with other people.
We had to learn, not only did we have to learn each other, we had to learn how to tolerate one another.
Joseph, that's sweet of you to cater to your husband's delusion of the pot roast. A lot of people tell it. Hey, Melissa Mosley.
I know who said that.
No. Let me tell you something. You
Stop
know what?
drinking haterade.
I'm gonna send you a video that I took of him when he was walking when he really did have a pot roast, honey.
Oh God.
When he get bigger, he do have a pot roast.
Oh
But
Lord.
when he's slim like this, honey, it's just like you
I
said,
had pot roast too,
It's a
and then
skirt-
somebody told me
it's a skirt
tonight.
steak.
Somebody told me tonight that I need to stop walking like I got the stanky leg. But I've been told I have a nasty walk.
You do have a nasty little
A
walk.
nasty little walk, yes.
Yes, y'all, but we about to go. I'm
Yeah.
enjoying the live, but I gotta be up early in the morning, y'all, because I gotta be to dialysis at 10:30.
Yes. And I apologize for dozing off, y'all.
Yes, and yesterday I
this-
apologize, but dialysis drained the hell out
Yeah.
of me yesterday.
I'm on this comfortable memory foam mattress, and I can't wait. I can't wait to go to sleep. I'm looking forward to it.
I still just see my husband like I saw him 16 years ago, the sexiest man alive to me. And the best thing about it is he's all mine.
Oh, that is so special.
And I feel the
And
same way.
romantical.
Right. Tramel tells me that all the time. I don't care who it is, you're the sexiest man alive.
He's
And
still,
I be laughing because I'm like, child,
Joseph is still that 24-year-old boy that I met.
30.
30, no, you,
I was 30.
Yeah, he's still that 30-year-old boy that I met.
Now it's what,
Now
24
what, 20,
years ago?
no, 23 years ago, yeah. He still looks and reminds me of that boy, yes.
Minus the contacts.
Minus the
'Cause I used
contacts
to wear, well, you did too.
and minus the walk.
Oh, yeah, it's funny because my walk was nasty. It was a little sachet in the room, honey.
Yeah.
I was sachet in the room and everybody be like, who's that?
You was hot in the ass too.
Oh, yeah, I was.
You was hot.
I
yeah.
was.
Yeah, he used to throw it on
See,
me.
I
now.
need to, see, Elonda, I need to get
He
that
throw,
back.
he throws it on me
I
now,
need
but
to
he
get
used
that
to.
back.
He throws it on me now, but he used to when we was
I
young.
can't throw it like I did when I was
child.
30 because, you know, this leg
We was like
be carrying,
rabbits.
honey.
We
This
was like
leg be
rabbits at
carrying.
one time. We was like rabbits, wasn't we?
Mm-hmm.
Any more questions?
Hot Lip said it's easier for me, Joseph, because mine actually has a pot roast.
Oh.
Good night,
I know who
Shauna.
said something about the pot roast.
Well, y'all, like I said, I would love to continue this live, but I gotta get up in the morning.
Yes.
So
Make sure y'all follow us on all social
Chuck,
media
the
platforms.
leg ain't get the feeling back yet. That's probably why I need to go to rehab because they telling me there's no reason why my right side should be, I say dead, but have no feeling because I'm fine. So I probably do need to go to rehab to like work it out and get it feeling again and stuff like that. Because I had 2 days of rehab and then COVID hit.
Well, see, rehab
So-
will show you how to deal with and work with what you have.
Right, that's what I'm
That's
saying.
why I want you to go
Because
rehab.
I only had 2 days of rehab since I had the stroke.
I'm telling you, once you
Once the
go,
doctor comes here, I'm gonna tell him to refer me to a rehab.
yeah,
facility.
once you go, I'm telling you, you
They
are
wanted
going
to put
to
me
be
in
so
rehab when I
mad.
broke my leg because
Yeah.
I broke the leg my right
Yeah.
leg, which is the side
I remember.
that's
You're gonna
numb.
be so mad
But
when you go.
they wanted me to go to a facility instead. I wasn't doing that.
Yeah,
That I wasn't doing.
you're gonna be so mad when you go because you're gonna say, "I should have done this sooner." Trust me when I tell
No,
you.
I mean, I'm gonna
But
go.
I know you're gonna go. I know you're gonna go.
And I'm gonna see what it does.
Yes.
And you know, it is what it is.
Yeah. So, guys, we're out of here. Y'all make sure y'all watch us on all social media platforms. You guys know what those are. And also, if you want to join the McRaeKingz channel, just hit the join button. If you don't see the join button, the link will be in the description of this video. It's in all of our videos,
And if you
okay?
have not subscribed, please subscribe.
Yes.
And if you hit subscribe, hit the notification bell so you know when we go live. We are about to start Coffee with the Kingz up again. So make sure you go check out the McRaeKingz boutique
Yes.
and get you a coffee mug with our face on it, so you can really have coffee with the Kings in the morning. Because that will be a pre-recorded morning show.
Yes, I can't wait for
then
Coffee with the Kingz.
you will
Yes.
still get Pillow Talk Live every single weekday and weekend night. And like I said, we might do 10 o'clock to 12 per the request.
Yes.
We don't have a problem with that. And you know how we end all. Shout out, first of all, shout out to all the new subscribers. Even if you're sitting in the bushes.
Thank
shout
you
out
so
to all of
much.
you in the bushes. It's a little cold.
Thank you.
So
thank
I
you.
hope
Thank
y'all
you.
got on your little bubble jackets and what have you. So you ain't out in the bushes cold. But thank all of you who subscribe to our channel.
Yes.
Thank all of you who come here every night and watch us.
Yes.
Whether you comment in the comment section or not, we really, really appreciate you for being here.
Yes.
And if you don't know how we end every show, this is how we do it. So get used to it. Make sure that if nobody told you they love you today, Tramel and I love you. And there's absolutely nothing you can do about it. Always remember to walk in love, peace, sunshine, and happiness. All those great and wonderful things. And always, always remember.
It's Team McRae.
All damn day.
Talk to you guys soon.
See you tomorrow night.
Mwah.
Bye, y'all.
Bye-bye.